Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And we're going to do the NXT review for January 9th. Heading up to Vengeance Day, and they're going to start off the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament there. Yeah, that's right. I believe it originated, I think they said 2015. So we're going to have everything, I think, laid out pretty good. But then they showed Nikita Lyons coming into the event center. And what happens? Deja vu all over again. We got Blair Davenport jumping her in the parking lot. They fight into the place, apparently get separated, and then they start fighting again. And the match is actually a pretty good match. This is Miss Lyons' first match back, first big match back. And Blair looks great. Actually, she looks better than I have seen her in any of the other events. And Nikita her punches are great. I think her ring rust is a little bit there, but her kicks just didn't look very crisp at all. But Blair looked freaking great. The match was pretty good. Nikita misses a kick, and then kicks the turnbuckle, and that's going to cause everything to go downhill from her from there on. And Blair ends up hitting a knee strike and winning the match. Kind of I don't know. The match was pretty good. Just the ending kind of sucked. I don't know what to say on that. Was that good a build-up, and then you're going to go and end it like that? So anyway, that's the way that one ended. And they go into a Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic promo, and it's 8 teams going at it. And nice little promo, and then they head on from there. They go to Mello and Trick, because Mello don't miss and whoop that Trick. So, it seems that Mello has kind of worked his magic and got them the last spot in the Dusty Rhodes tournament. Now, Trick seems a little, he would be a little cautious the way things have been going on. But Mello, there again, kind of pushes him over and convinces him. So, they are going to be the last participants in the tournament. So we'll see how that goes. All right, and then we've got a good match with Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, the Gallus brothers, the Gallus guys. They're going against, Braun Breaker and Baron Von Raschke. Sorry, old reference. I blame that on the gardener. But anyway, Baron Corbin. So we're going to have Braun and Baron, who are going to constantly try to one-up each other. So, but they do it. They pull it off kind of good. I mean, I can't say anything too bad on that. Even on the entrance, Baron gets cut off a little bit, and Braun comes out. So, yeah, they're both trying to one up each other. And I tell you what, the Gallus guys, they really looked good in this match. They kind of took it to Baron and Braun. And the match was actually pretty freaking good. Now, this is the first round of the tournament here. So they're the first match. And now Braun and Baron are going to get the win. But this is a pretty good match, man. I think Gallus really kind of showed themselves pretty good there. So they didn't let them. They didn't let it be a squash match or they didn't overbuild it or anything like that. I kind of liked the way they did this because Gallus is going to look good, and with the new comedy duo of Baron and Braun, this should be kind of fun. So if they play it right, should be pretty good though. And then we're coming in to our first episode of Tiffany Stratton going to the ranch and being a ranch hand. Now, first of all, I'm going to have to make a personal comment on this. I've worked on a lot of farms, cleaned a lot of stalls. Every time I got in trouble as a teenager, my family took me to my uncle's, and yeah, I got my fair share. This freaking ranch that they're on, it's a multi-million dollar ranch. Not exactly what I would call roughing it. But, you know, the work still has to be done. You still have to clean crap out of a stall. You know, you still have to feed, you still have to wash, you still have to do all the things when you maintain animals like that. But, if you're going to be doing it, you know, I think that's a pretty good way to do it in this kind of surroundings. But anyway, the first episode they do on here, I mean, she shows up in all pink and all done up. And they're going to start in all the work and everything. But the first episode, I'm going to give it a C-. Not very good. Tiff didn't do great. Fallon does okay. It's okay setup. But when you're going to have multiple episodes, we might as well grade and see where it goes from here, because it could go bad. Now, up next, we've got the woman's champ, Miss Valkyra. Lyra, it gets out there, gets on the stick, and announces that they're going to have a 20-woman battle royal. But they're adding kind of like a little twist to it. They're going to make it, when it gets to the final four, they're going to make it a fatal four-way. So, you know, that would be pretty good. You know, we used to have a lot of battle royals, you know, back in Memphis in the day, and it was a good way to get the whole locker room out there and get everybody on TV. So hopefully, you know, this one turns out to be okay. But then they've got to have Lola Vice and Elektra come out, and you know, they kind of lay out like a bad soap opera. That's the way it kind of looks. I don't know if y'all have ever seen any of the Latin soap operas. It was I felt like I was being forced into one while I was watching this. So of course, you know, the ladies, after a little a back and forth, and there's two of them, one of the champ, of course, so they're going to jump her. And when they jump her, of course, you've got her new best friend, Tatum Paxley. So Tatum runs out, jumps in, helps her. They, of course, throw the ladies out, and you know what this is setting up. Yep, it's setting up a match for next week, of course. It has to be next week. But, yeah, this was, you know, because they acted like they were going to go into the match, and then they jumped her. So it was okay, I guess. And like I said, though, felt like I was being drawn in. And then they bring old Josh Briggs out with a Metaphor. Well, they've got Metaphor out there doing their little promo spot. And Josh Briggs comes in, and he kind of lets them know that he thinks he deserves a rematch. And of course, Noam is going to tell him he's got to go back to the end of the line. And then he kind of lets him know that the only reason he didn't win that match is because of his flunky over there, or Mensa. So, them be fighting words. So, of course, we have to have a match coming up. And then they go to our Ava sighting, the new mouthpiece for HBK. And Ava's out there with some jabroni. And then Dragon Lee comes out. And this is what got me. They said he had visa problems. That was the reason Carlito was involved last week. And I mean, if he had visa problems, I don't know if I'd want to be throwing that out there. But anyway, they do, and now they brought Lexus King. He is arranged for a contract and actually has it there available, and asked Dragon Lee to kind of challenges him, and of course Dragon Lee takes the challenge and signs the contract. So there is a title match tonight between Dragon Lee and Lexus King. Burial. Okay. So from there they go straight into the Oro Mensah Josh Briggs fight. Now, of course, metaphor is all out there. So that's their angle, and that's the way they do things there with that one. But the match itself, Mensah is good. Mensah is good. It's just that Josh Briggs is so much bigger. It's kind of like, what was I watching earlier today? Club Shay Shay, I believe it was, with Shannon Sharp, and he had Ric Flair on there, and Ric Flair was talking about fighting Andre, that he had to hit him in his knee to get him on his knees, and when he was on his knees, Andre was closer to his height, so he could work with him some. And that's kind of the way they went into this. Mensah had to get him down on his knees so it looked better. Because he was throwing knees, he was doing good moves. It was just, Briggs is so much bigger and so much stronger. It's hard to, it's hard to hide that, it just is. And, Josh is going to end up winning this match. A big clothesline, and wins the match. But Mensah did do good. But, of course, at the end, when he pins Mensah, he, of course, is staring straight at Noam Dar. So he will be going after the cup, that thing, that trophy, that whatchamacallit they bring around. But hey, it'll look normal size if Josh carries it around. And then we go to our second installment of Tiffany Cleans Stalls. So this one I grade a B minus. It was okay. What can you do with this? I mean, this has kind of been done. Stuff like this has been done, and it's all on how the people portray it or pull it off. And Tiffany, on her second chance, it does adequate. B minus. That's all. Yeah, that's all I can say on that one. That's all I can say on that one. All right, we're going to go from cleaning the stalls to a tag title match. All right, we got OTM, out the mud with Reggie Scripps. Or Scripps, Reggie. You got Nima and Price going up against the Don, Tony D, and Channing Stacks. in this one, you've got another. All right, so Stacks and Tony D are not small guys by any means, but man, Neiman and Price are some D1 athletes. They are some big guys. But in this one, everything looks good. Tony D and Stacks are gonna, they take the smaller kind of person's persona in this, and they really work it good. Their teamwork is freaking great, and with OTM, man, they're just their timing's a little slow. I mean, they're very, very powerful, and they're almost they're almost too strong and too big. They haven't kind of learned to get out of their way yet. But that's just they need more ring time. That's all that is. Because they are so powerful. So, and they had, towards the end of the match, they had some kind of, their covers were kind of weak. I think, maybe hook a leg or just, or something to that effect. Tony D and said, Tony does, they do the hip toss throw, Stacks ends up, I believe, with a busted nose in this deal. But the teamwork, everything covers with those weak covers towards the end. And then, of course, you got to have Scripps, Reggie Scripps, whatever he is. He's got to come flying in. Because, Tony D and Stacks, they got Adriana out there. She's the glue of the family. But she, gets involved just a hair. But, of course, Stacks is going to, or not Stacks, but Scripps is going to, Reggie, is going to jump off, miss his initial target. Imagine that. But misses his target, hits his own guy, and then, bam, bada bing, bada boom, we got a winner in Tony D and Stacks. So, pretty good match. Can't go really say anything that wrong with that one at all. And they go to, we got to have our Chase U version. So, they got JCJ and Thea out there. And JC's, she's kind of laying out a business plan or a plan to get things right. So we'll see. She keeps pointing and telling people they have to do exactly what she says, and she'll pull it off. So we'll see how that goes. And then they do a little spot with Obafemi. He's the breakout tournament winner. And monster guy. The legs on this guy are freaking like, like driving around Maine. A monster guy. And Lexus King is kind of out there, the way I would put it, he would, I could see him being a wrestler manager, having, his linchpin or some big monster with him to help him complete his goals. And, we'll see where that one goes, because he wasn't rude. He was kind of, saying that he's going to win his match, and that Oba Mr. Femi would have a chance at his a title himself. So, we'll see where that goes. They got Rich Holland coming in, and of course Gallus is there, and I can see a little angle here. Rich and maybe Wolfgang or Mark Coffey. I can see a little something going on there coming up. But they go to probably, I gotta say, probably the best match almost of the night, which is Cora Jade versus Gigi Dolan. Yeah, I haven't been on the Gigi wagon per se, whatever, but Cora Jade, the mean girl of NXT, Gigi's got some new a new ring gear and everything, and the match was actually pretty freaking good. Cora Jade, man, has really come on. And with the new look and the new angle and everything with her, I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Cora and Gigi. This was by far the best match I've seen her in. Now, Cora Jade is going to be Miss Slickster, and she's going to hold on to the ref towards the end of the match, and Gigi's going to mess up, and Cora will get the win. Kind of a weird, another weird kind of ending, but the match was pretty good. The match was pretty freaking good. So yeah, more things to come from that, I'm sure, in the future. Then they got a little more of the OTM, a little out the mud. Runs across Jada Parker out in the parking lot when they're leaving, and Miss Parker seems to think that she has the secret ingredient to make OTM successful. That's what she said. And that's what they're going to go with. But Reggie did say, hey, let's talk a little business. So we'll see where they go from there. But we got our second first round match in the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tournament. And it's Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank against Nathan Frazier and Axiom. But Hank and Tank coming out and cut off black pants. Really, Booker T was going on about their wardrobe, kind of like Booker T in this one. But Nathan Frazier and Axiom, man, their teamwork, because Hank and Tank are a lot bigger. And so this was a good match. This was a good match. I mean, Nathan Frazier and Axiom are always going to be just flying and flipping and flopping and doing all their stuff. But in this particular match, their teamwork, the way they did it, was a pretty good match. It was a pretty good match. I can't say anything bad about it. Now, Nathan Frazier and Axiom end up winning the match with a lot of teamwork. But this is, go back, the Cora Jade and the Gigi and Hank and Tank and Nathan Frazier, they're pretty good. Even, Von Raschke, Baron Corbin and Braun, that was pretty good. And they do, after this, they go to the pretty much the final episode of Tiffany cleaning the stalls, and then you know how it's got to end. The stalls, meaning horses, meaning horse crap, meaning somebody's got to step in horse crap and fall, and that's kind of the way they end it. She steps, because she's had these heels on doing the stalls, so steps in poop, falls in tub, and bam. That is the last episode of Tiff Goes to the $1 Million Ranch House. And they have some strange lady come up and try to talk Anofi and Blade into an exercise program, and says that she'll get them 6-packs, and of course they show that they have 12 packs. So, the only 6-pack I had, even when I was younger, I bought at a store. But anyway, they go into the North American title match. So we got Dragon Lee going against Lexis King. Now, Lexis King has got the look. He's got everything. And they go back into Dragon Lee in the Visa. They go back into the Visa issues, but Dragon Lee's good, man, and of course they got to have this guy Bear Hill come out that Lexus actually knocked out of the breakout tournament, so he could get in it with a chair shot. So Bear Hill keeps showing back up. So there we go. We have an angle there. But the Dragon Lee, as far as the match, is good. Lexus is he's semi-sells, and that's where he needs to work on, is selling a little bit better and not be so obvious when he's doing a catch off the top or something like that. But pretty good. And you're gonna have Dragon Lee win the match. So the show's pretty much over, and let's go. Oh, wait a minute. The breakout tournament winner comes out and cashes his contract in for a title match. And Obafemi comes out, Mr. Femi comes out and proceeds. He takes a few good shots, but delivers a bunch of very, very good ones, because this, again, would have to go back to almost, you'd have to cut him down to make it look better in the ring, because Dragon Lee is so much smaller. The size of freaking Mr. Femi's legs are just, just they're the size of Dragon Lee. So, Dragon Lee does represent good, does some good moves, whatever, but in the end, the power is just going to come through. And we have a new North American title. We got a new North American champ. So Mr. Femi wins the title. And that's how we end the show. So now that, a good little twist. So some odd kind of finishes, not too happy with. But overall, pretty good show. Good little twist at the end here. So, where are they going to go from here? Because I can see a lot of different ways, because this man is just bolted onto the scene. And they must see something in him, because they're giving him this push. So, this should be some good oncoming weeks, because I could definitely see Braun Breaker and him having a great match. So, I don't know. A lot of things that we will see coming up for sure. Let me see. Let me go back over these notes. Everything looks good. One thing I did want to add, I was going back over some of my old Memphis programs from the 70s and 80s and the 90s. And on this date, this is Tuesday, of course, but Monday was the Memphis Wrestling. But the prior week, this Saturday, they had set up a match for this, which would have been last night, Monday night. They brought in a new superstar in Memphis Wrestling. And he was a muscled up, very intelligent person by the name of Precious Paul Ellering. Now, if that name sounds familiar, go back and do a little Road Warriors research. That was the manager of the Road Warriors, but he was a wrestler then, and this was his debut. The 9th of 1981 was his Monday night debut, or that Monday. That it would have been before this date. But anyway, you get the gist. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. Whenever these pop up, I'll throw them out there. But there we go. There we go with that. But all right, guys, I guess we will just go ahead and shut her down before I screw up. As always, get out there and help when you can. A new year, and these shelters, they get all the attention in the holidays, but everybody forgets about them once the new year starts. So if you can, get out and volunteer, go help. And as always, spay and neuter. But this is Memphis Mark, and you know what? There again, I'll say it again. Happy New Year, and I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.